That was a really epic opening.
Oh,
You're giving me a lot to live up to.
I'm new to the show, so I just...
Yeah, for everyone joining us tonight, I've got 2 new guests here for us. Okay, one might look a little sweet. One might look a little familiar. The other one is totally brand new. So you'll remember Carlota from my other one, and then the new one is Joe over here. So we'll get to them both in a moment, though. Sandy,
hello,
Sandy made it.
You guys?
I was just introducing our 2 new guests to the show to everyone.
Awesome.
So yeah. Anyway. We will talk mainly on Carlota, but Joe's just on to kind of test the waters out and see how he likes it. And then
long-time commenter, first time on the show.
Let's be honest. I'm just better looking than Joe. I'm sorry, Joe.
I mean, thank you with that energy.
Unbelievable. That's it. I'm out.
He deserves the abuse.
I appreciate it.
Let me give everyone this. Oh,
I love you, Joe. Come back.
There we go. It's your first time viewing this tonight. Let me just let you know. Several years ago, there was a big event that happened around the world, right? And
I was like, what was it?
They were like, you can't go hanging out with people, right? And so then we thought, well, what do we do then if we can't hang out with people? We're like, we can't do that. So 3 social butterflies telling them not to go hang out with people was like the worst thing to do, right?
Really?
That's not our style. So then we came up with the social distancing show. And this is our attempt, not our attempt. This is our way of still connecting with new friends and old friends and continue it. So that's what the social distancing show is if you're joining us tonight for the first time. So with that being said, we're going to go around the room and just briefly everyone say hello. And we'll start first with Sandy.
What do you want me to say? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Who you are, just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I am, who am I? Listen, I'm a little scattered right now. I'm racing home. But I'm a mom I'm a boy mom. I have 2 boys and one of them's to be 23. Can y'all believe that?
That's wild.
And then my
That's
baby
how old I was, I think, when I met you. No,
we were 18.
Never mind me.
Calm down.
Never mind me.
Calm down. So my baby is a senior, and I had to order his senior pictures today, and I'm kind of having a hard time right now because he doesn't. Knock on wood, because here I say he's never, but he doesn't give me the crap that the other one did. Anyway, that's who I am. I'm in my senior mom era, and I'm an insurance agent, and I like to talk shit. So that's who I am. God welcome to the show.
She does talk a lot of shit.
Hey, Joanne.
Carlota, why don't you go next?
I am Carlota. I am awesome. And
yes, you are.
I am a multitude of awesomes in one body. By day I do cybersecurity and tell people that it's not that scary. You're doing it wrong, but I'm going to help you do it better, and that seems to be a good message.
I
like that message. I'm adopting that.
You're doing it wrong, but we can do it better together, right? I am the emotional support CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, is what I call myself. So
nice.
I have my own company called
3 times fast.
CISO. I know, right? I have my own company called Pocket CISO, which I named Pocket CISO because I'm a big Polly Pocket fan. And if you look at my company logo, there's a little lock in the center.
That makes sense.
The center of the lock is a Polly Pocket doll.
Yeah. How cool. I didn't connect it.
Trademark infringement right there, people. Let's.
I like that.
Don't tell Mattel. No, I am neurodivergent. I am a collector of many things. I originally started collecting Barbies, and one of the ways that I put myself, I was a college dropout, and I went back to school later. And one of the ways that I made money was to buy a bunch of Barbie dolls, dye their hair these funky colors, and make little outfits for them, and then sell them in the early days of eBay. So I'd buy them for $5. Make them over and then sell them for $150. And as I go into the store, I've always been like this, right? And whenever I would go into the store to buy Barbies, I'd just pick up a Polly Pocket now and then because they were super cute. And then one day I opened my
We
closet.
call
I
those
had
in the comic world, those
hundreds
would be
of-
variants. You made
Yeah,
variants of your
I
Barbie
did.
dolls.
I
That's
did. I
freaking
did.
awesome, girl.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I have to bring my touch to everything I do, including cybersecurity. But Polly Pockets are the one things that I don't customize yet. But I
Yet.
follow some customizers on Insta, and I'm addicted. Like, yeah, I'm
Okay, I
eventually once I
can't
settle
wait to
down.
hear. I have so
Yeah.
many questions.
But that's me
So
in a
many.
And we'll
nutshell. I
get
grew up
there.
in
And we'll
Alabama.
get
I'm in
there.
North Carolina. I'm moving to Australia eventually. I'll be in France next month. Yeah, go figure.
How fun.
Totally
We'll
jealous.
get to that. You guys talk about yourself.
All right. Talk about your boring lives, people. Go ahead.
Go on, introduce yourselves and let's get back to me.
I drive a white car.
Joe
I
sleeps through the night and he doesn't bite people anymore.
I did.
Yeah.
Good.
We're
We're
so
proud of
proud.
you, Joe. We're very proud
Way
of
to
you.
I'm glad that
go.
you said Australia because I like pulling out my Australian accent with a throw a
Rise
shrimp
of
on
light.
the barbie.
Crikey.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
I'm so sorry, Carlota. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's
What?
that's all right. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that. Keep going.
Thank
Keep
you.
going.
She's gonna use
Jump
that
in
on
and-
her trip. Thank
I'm-
you.
Yeah, Jaime, jump in, please.
Yeah. So I drive a blue car. I wear a yellow shirt.
With blue fonts.
With
The
pineapples
only
on it.
thing I
Yeah.
feel like I can connect with you truly on, Carlota, is your collection. So I don't collect Polly Pockets, but I do collect comic books. And so we'll get to your stuff later, but I was like, I can totally connect with her heart, at least on this. It makes sense to me what she is going after. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit about me.
Joe, do you collect anything?
I
Yeah.
collect camera gear, and that's about
Gray
it.
hairs.
And
Okay.
yes,
Rude. I mean, not wrong, but rude.
Right.
that's
Rude
okay.
to
I
point
still
that
have my
out.
hair.
Oh, snap. He did get you back
I'm
there.
okay. I'm okay. I'm also okay getting gray hairs though. So okay, I told everyone before the show started, I was like, okay, there's two things I wanted to talk about to help break the ice a little bit more. And I was like, I want everyone to prepare for this. Sandy, you didn't get to hear this part, but I'll tell you all out there so that you can comment in the comments. But I want you to tell us the name and maybe just a brief experience of a restaurant that you visited recently. It can be brand new, it can be old and cool, whatever you want to say, just something that you want to mention, okay? And then something desserty, whatever that inspires you with, something desserty. So I'll start first to kind of set the tone, and then y'all can
set
kind
an
of
example.
Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead.
So this past weekend, I went to a new restaurant in town called, it's not new, I just hadn't gotten there yet, but it's called Mexamaya, right? Like Mexican / Mayan. And so they have
Y'all have a lot of few stuff. La Bamba and sushi.
Girl, this is one place I haven't told you all about. And when I visited, I will tell y'all, but it is a fusion place. I can't remember which two, but they have some very interesting food there. Anyway, I'll report on it when I go there. But this place was fantastic. It was very low key. They had this dish that was called guisado. And I was like, because someone told me they had carne guisada there. And if you didn't know, carne guisada is only well, I won't say only, but it is a Texas dish created in Texas and is only there for the most part. So I was curious of what this was. It was kind of like Mexican or Tex-Mex guisada, but it had chunks of carrots and beef in this red stew like stuff. It was good. It was good. I was like, yeah, it was. But anyhow, the breakout piece of this was their salsa. They had this salsa that was heavily infused with cilantro and cheese. I could not stop eating it.
It had
Yum.
Really?
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Did you say cheese?
You said salsa had cheese in it.
That's what we
I
heard.
said cilantro.
But
And
you said
cheese.
Jeez, this was so good.
Okay.
Jeez.
No.
I just figured it was like a really good queso with the cilantro. Yeah.
It was so good. I ate more than I needed to, but that cilantro flavor, oh gosh, it was so good. So good.
I feel bad for people who has the cilantro thing where it tastes like soap.
It tastes
I feel bad for those.
Dr.
Yeah,
Pineapples.
that's
I have a
sad,
sister-in-law
sad
that
life.
has that.
Dr. Pineapples too.
Ooh,
She's got it too.
That's
Heather.
very
I can't cook
attractive.
with it. Sucks. And then desserty, something desserty. If you have Instagram, I won't talk it long about this. So go check out my Instagram. But I posted up some new cookies that I made this last week, which
Oh,
were
what were they?
they were brown buttered, dark chocolate, pistachio sea salt.
You lost me at
cookies.
pistachio, brother.
I just wanted to try something new, and I wanted
I mean,
some
that's new.
protein for a It was good. It wasn't bad. Not my favorite in term with the pistachio, but it was a cool treat to make. There was a buddy of mine who passed his electrician's licensing exam, so he's no longer, a
He's a
journeyman or whatever.
master electrician.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so his world is about to change dramatically for him. And I was like,
Congrats
dude,
to him. Good
yes.
work.
So I was like, I'm gonna bake
Good
you
work.
something that was like took 2 days to make, and they were these cookies. They were good.
Your cookies were electrifying.
Holla! So anyway, that's my piece. Who would like to go next?
Okay,
I'm gonna go last.
I'll
You're
go.
gonna go okay, go, Sam.
Because I just went to a new place here in town. It's new to me. I think it's fairly new in Lubbock. Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but don't. It's called Benito's, and it's an Italian place.
Shut up.
And it's over there on Cactus Alley.
No, not shut up.
Okay.
And they have gluten-free pasta. So for
that's
the
your
first
jam.
time in over 4 years, I had chicken marsala, and it was
Get outta
so
here.
good. Yes. So
Wait, isn't chicken marsala? That's not an Italian dish, though, right?
Indian.
I mean, I've eaten it at every Italian
They
place
eat
I've
it
ever
at the
been
Italian
to.
restaurant, so that makes it Italian.
Oh, marsala. No, there's marsala, which is Italian, and then there's chicken masala, I think, which is Indian.
Oh,
Oh,
you got
think
the R is
yeah.
important, Sandy.
The R is important.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, hearing is important because I said chicken marsala.
isn't that Indian? You
Because
said it again.
Jamie also said cheese, and he said he
I
did.
did not say cheese. I said
Totally said cheese.
He said cheese. Three people
Come
heard.
on, man.
So anyway, and then I had, so it was basically a 4-course meal that I had at lunch. So I had their caprese, so good. They had this amazing garlic and salt, and I don't know what was on top. It was so good. Like I crave it now. So I had that, and then of course I had a salad. Then I had my marsala, and then I ended up having raspberry cheesecake. That's the only thing that I could have, but I didn't eat the crust, and it was such a good lunch.
It was
Such a
good.
lunch. Yes.
Oh.
So highly
sounds
recommend
good.
it if you are looking for a pasta that's gluten-free here in town.
Okay.
And it's
okay. Benito's.
Benito's inside is it inside?
It's next door to Cactus Alley. Mhm.
Okay,
It's
so
the
it's
same
what-
little area.
What used to be some
Miguel,
other, like 3 other restaurants?
Gilbert's. It used to be Gilbert's.
Yeah,
the
it used to be
last time.
Gilbert's. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think have I eaten there? I think we tried it one time. So
I tried to look at your their POS, but I don't think it was you.
no, it's not. It wasn't.
They're different.
It was
than
not.
us.
It was definitely a POS though.
Right.
Snap.
Let
All
me
right, Jeff.
go.
You're up next, Joe.
Be
So-
nice. Be nice.
I think I think Sandy's been there, but it's called Vizzo's.
Yes, it's so good.
So it's an African restaurant.
Oh.
And so the very first time that we went, it was just the producer and I, and we went there, and they had a limited menu, and they also had a African club music going. It was so
Ooh.
awesome.
Oh, that sounds
really
rocking.
cool.
That
It was
does.
so
Eating your
cool.
chicken and
Yeah.
jamming.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have given me the first ever reason I've had to go visit Lubbock now, right? Is this Lubbock,
Yeah.
Texas?
It's
Yes.
a so
Lubbock.
the
What the
thing that goes
heck?
on around Lubbock is people ask if we have kitchens because we eat out all the time.
we have
because
more restaurants
we
per
have more-
capita
yeah.
and food
Okay.
trucks. Our food truck
Okay.
scene is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh.
we got
All
a lot.
right.
A lot.
All right. Hop on that
Well-
dessert piece now. Okay, so we've
No.
heard about really good African food.
Yeah, so I tried. They have one called a Scotch egg. So it's a
Mm.
hard-boiled egg,
Oh my gosh.
Scotch eggs are great.
and then it's like rolled in sausage,
Mhm.
and then there's another crust on the outside. It was
Mhm.
so good.
Mhm.
And then
It's
they
out
That
have
was your
the-
dessert? No, yes, keep talking about
Then
the
I had So they have this appetizer called suya.
Okay.
So it's like strips of meat with onions, and you basically take a toothpick and you just eat the meat, and it's so good. I loved it. It was like
there was this famous or popular like bread, African bread. Did you see any of that? Did you get any of that, Joe?
No, I didn't get any bread products like because I don't do bread.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. Anyway.
I'm kind of gluten minus, but I'm not totally gluten free. I'm like gluten minus.
+1. Not there yet.
Right.
And then for dessert, so I've taken sugar out too, so I don't eat much sugar anymore. But we try. So let me tell you this story. Okay.
I tell you that to tell you this.
Yeah. So the producer and I are rolling through Costco, and she is the reason that they have end caps made in stores, because she will buy stuff on the end caps.
Yes.
So on this particular end cap, as we walk by, there is a Jack Daniel's honey cake. And she's like, "Ooh, that sounds good." I'm like,
"Yes,
not really.
It does. No, it sounds great."
I was like, "No, it doesn't sound good." And she's like, "But there's no alcohol in it." I was like, "No, Jack Daniel's has a very distinct flavor, so you have to you have to like that." And she's like, "No, we're gonna get it." I was like, "All right."
You're like, "We can just find a honey cake somewhere else. I know that's what you're really wanting."
So we get home. She opens it up, takes a little bite of it, and she's like, "Oh, you were right."
Oh, no.
And I took a little bite of it too, and I was like, "Yeah, it's so
an acquired taste,
so strong."
Wow.
And so then I took it to the office, and nobody liked it at the office.
Oh, wow.
That's why it was like really.
I was like, "You can take some of it home if you want," and they're like, "No,
nah."
No,
Wow.
And B works for me now, and she got a big chunk of it because she thought she was gonna. She's like, "Ooh, honey cake, that sounds good." She took one bite of it, and she's like, "No."
Wow.
She's like, honey cake bad.
No honey cake for me.
That's tragic.
Yeah, it was tragic. Especially when I told somebody that they would not like it, and we ended up getting it anyway. So there's that. I never said I told you so, but I did say that I told you so.
Right. I'm not the kind of person to say I told you so.
Right. Totally.
But I sent her an email with that done.
Send her a strongly worded email or a light-hearted email.
I'm good. You should have sent a strongly worded email to Costco for selling that.
Right. They
bought it. Someone over there loved it. They said everyone
usually
else
sell really good stuff.
Oh man, it's like it's a strong flavor. I was like, they could have put the alcohol in it just to make sure that
they probably put the alcohol in it to cover up whatever was there that didn't taste good. It still didn't.
It's like I could do Jack Daniel's like on beef or something, but not in my cake. Not something sweet.
It's usually cooked off pretty well in meat. You got to have it in temperatures that kill bacteria. All right, what about you, Carlota?
I have a lot of food allergies, so I don't eat out a lot. So I'm going to reach back to when I was in Denver earlier this summer, and my friends found a Filipino fusion restaurant. I am half Filipino.
Oh,
yeah. So
Joe knew it from the get-go. He was like, "My people's here."
We got the same nose. I mean, we got the
full blood here.
Look at this, right? Like, so I'm a halvesy, Filipino people, when I'm in the Philippines, it's hysterical because they totally peg me as white. And I'm like, is this what white privilege? Like, the things I say are just accepted as truth. This is white privilege. I like this. I get why people don't want to give this up. Like, white privilege is awesome. The world just opens up for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm moving to the Philippines. This is cool. Australia is just, it's my step one to getting to the Philippines. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm the white baby in the family. But
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, we'll go into colonialism some other time. But so some friends of mine came up from Colorado Springs. Don't get me. Here's what I'm talking about. Some friends came up from Colorado Springs, and they say, "Hey, there's this Filipino fusion restaurant. Do you want to try it?" And they had things like adobo tacos, which as a Filipino person, you're like, okay. But okay, it's like fuck with my adobo, man. Like, adobo is, but adobo tacos, like, Okay.
Any kind of tacos, okay?
Yeah, adobo is meat simmered in onions until they're nearly falling apart, and a Filipino vinegar is like a coconut vinegar or a sugar cane vinegar or palm vinegar, right? So they're
Oh.
very mellow vinegars, very different from what we're used to in the US, right? And hi, Anita. And I love the sauce. Like I will get a bowl of rice and put a couple pieces of chicken and some onions in there, and then I will just like cover it with that wonderful adobo broth. And you're not going to have broth,
Sounds so good.
right? Like that's
And I
not
just ate, people.
Same
Right?
here.
yeah.
And I ate
but it's
tacos of
phenomenal.
all things, but
Yeah.
now you're talking tacos. I'm like, yeah, I could do more.
Yeah,
Totally could do
yeah.
more.
So unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it, but it's in Denver. It's a Filipino fusion place. It was really freaking phenomenal.
There's probably a ton of them there, and so it'd be hard to find it, I'm sure.
My mouth,
right,
Filipino
totally.
Filipino
my mouth
fusion
is so
restaurants
watering
are,
right now.
They're just
They're
like
just a dime a
Starbucks.
dozen. You can't, yeah.
They're
you
on
just
every
can't-
corner.
That's
So
funny
there's
because I have a Starbucks Waffle House metric for towns. Like the town that I live in has no Starbucks and no Waffle House. That's how you know
Oh,
I live in
wow.
the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Wow.
like Montgomery, Alabama is like when I was there a few years ago, it's like a 3 Starbucks, 2 dozen Waffle House kind of town. Like
Nice.
right? You can tell kind of the
Yeah.
economics. The more Starbucks there are, the less Waffle Houses, the more money is in the area.
Oh,
And then when you
okay.
have neither,
Okay.
when you have neither Starbucks or Waffle House, you are in the BFE.
You're on the other
The
side
poors
of the
are
track.
at it.
We are the poors, right?
Fascinating. I
We're
never
like
thought
anything
about
else.
that now. So
so yeah. Anyway, totally
Well,
digress.
we have no
but,
Waffle Houses here, so we're
really?
We
we're
don't.
like ritzy. Yeah, there's
See,
no
well,
Waffle
well,
House.
there's
used to have one
there's
there?
all Western Texas. Like I had a map because this is how much I love Waffle House.
Oh, I
And I
love
do a
it.
lot of cross country driving, right? So I've done the North Carolina to California to North Carolina, or vice versa. I lived in California
Wow.
for 10 years. I've done the cross country drive like
Mhm.
over a dozen times at this point. So at one point I had a map that had all of the Waffle House locations, and yeah, there's a huge amount of dead space. Like here there be dragons. Like most of anything west of Dallas, Texas at the time was like
Yeah.
no Waffle Houses. Like I always end up like when I
They
have a
one in
cross
Abilene, I
country.
think.
Yeah.
Amarillo has one, I think.
Yeah, Amarillo has
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
like
they have one
one.
now. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Abilene
Good.
has one.
That's so funny.
Good.
That's so
Good.
funny that you have that. I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Like
Yeah.
when you're a hardcore fan of something, like you go all out for what you
Like,
love, right? Like
you
I'm
gotta
not
give
like
me my Waffle
that,
House.
but I do
Like-
love looking for the special place. I'm
Right.
like where's the best
Right.
chocolate chip cookies in the places
Right.
that I'm going to
Right.
go visit?
Oh yeah.
And then I'll tell
Waffle
these
House-
guys, I'll be
Yeah,
like, y'all
Waffle
gotta
House
go.
is
You're
the
going to
best.
New York. Go check that place out. Go
Oh
there.
yeah. No, I just want consistent that I know is not going to kill me because of the food allergies, right?
Whoa, yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that
that's what I
okay.
need. I need the consistency.
I'm slow to connect
That's
things
all right.
sometimes. So
Like no.
know.
I'm totally YOLO. Like
That makes total
eating
sense,
out at
though.
all is always entertaining. Like my friends are always like, "What do we do if you die?" And I'm like, I was in Hong Kong and we were just like randomly like picking places to eat. And my friend from Ireland is like, "What do I do if you die?" And I'm like, "You call the U.S. Embassy because once I'm dead, I'm not your problem." Like
Right.
they'll ship me home. It's totally fine. They've got all
It's
my
like
info.
roll
I'd be
over
like,
bones
finish
over
your
here.
meal.
Yeah,
Like,
Finish
yeah,
your
like-
meal
yeah,
because
Yeah,
you're only
you know,
here
don't
once.
come to the- Yeah, I mean,
just
if it
kind of
happens,
push off to the side.
totally fine.
If I'm in your
Totally
way,
fine.
just
Just,
kick
you
me
know,
over to the side. You know.
It's okay if you turn your back. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
you shouldn't have to eat in
Be
front of a
like,
dead body. Like, you should
Carlota.
turn your back to that stuff.
Just
You gonna
close your
finish your
eyes.
sake?
He won't see you.
Right,
Close your
right.
eyes.
Right. Totally. You can totally have my sake. But yeah. So,
So what are your
yeah,
allergies? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, sure. Okay. So you have to understand, I divide my allergies into death, misery, and regret.
Okay, I'm
So
with you.
death, obviously, I'm gonna avoid. Misery, I'm gonna avoid most of the time, but if it sounds really good, I might like pop a Benadryl and try it out. Regret, I'll probably
Pray for the
eat,
best.
like like yellow, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So,
That reminds me of when Joe used to eat blizzards like all the time. and
Yeah.
he'd be like,
Man, that's full of regret there.
yeah.
But
The
I would
Filipino,
still-
the Asian
still wanna eat 'em.
stomachs are not meant for dairy. Yeah,
No,
they're
they're
not.
not.
Yeah, no. So nightshades, eggplant, potato, bell pepper, tomato. Eggplant will kill me. That's death. Misery is bell pepper. That's spontaneous vomiting or migraine, one or the other. And it's not like the migraines you get from food allergies. It's because the membrane around your brain is swelling. That's actually an anaphylactic shock kind of thing. I found out you really shouldn't get migraines when you eat things.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, oh, I should be using like an EpiPen, shouldn't I?
Right, exactly.
Maybe I shouldn't just pop Benadryl and watch it off all the time, right?
You need to ride in an ambulance all the time. Sounds like
right. So
she's got ambulance speed dials in 6 different countries.
Pretty much, yeah. Here's I do carry the EpiPen with me, but it's like, and I tell people it's like it should be in the front pocket of my backpack, but sometimes I switch purses and I forget to put it back. And so I've got one EpiPen here in the house, in the refrigerator, in a pocket in the refrigerator, so my roommate knows to not kill me, because she was cooking something and they had snuck some eggplant into the broth, and so it hits that hot panel and aerosolizes, right? And I immediately start swelling up and choking. So,
oh my,
yeah, like it is.
I figured if there was that death level item, like your roommate, no.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious. Like it wasn't obvious that it was going to be in there, but a lot of vegetarian broths, so it's hard to eat in Indian restaurants sometimes. I have to really suss out the Indian restaurant, right? And I love Indian. Like, am I willing to die for Indian?
Yeah.
Some days, like, right? Most days, like, yeah. And my friends know, is this Indian worth dying for? I'll go try it. That's cool. Like, but yeah, a lot of vegetarian broths will have eggplant in it, and it's not obvious, right? It's not going to say it on the front of the package. You have to really read the ingredients. So yeah.
So how did you discover this? Like
the hard way.
How did you find
the hard way?
The hard way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was always allergic to tomatoes growing up, but I love tomatoes, right? My godmother down the street had heirloom tomatoes, which are so tasty, right? So I'd come home and I'd have like a rash everywhere, and my mother was like, "You've been eating tomatoes." I'm like, "No, I haven't. Don't make me admit this, because I'm afraid she's not going to let me do it." My godmother's, and she's like, "I can look at you."
On tomatoes. So my oldest, she recently became allergic to tomatoes, and we were. I'm a terrible father. Let me just start off. Let me preface that. Okay?
We know that's okay.
Okay, thanks. So I was like, oh gosh, she's not allergic to tomatoes. But after enough times, I was like, okay, maybe she is allergic to tomatoes.
Yeah.
So it'll be like tomato sauce, pizza sauce, marinara, raw tomatoes too, pico and salt. And I was just like,
what a sad lie.
And a lot of it's in the skin. So like if you poach it and peel the skin off and scrape the seeds out, so that scraping the seeds out is hard with tomatoes though, because they're soft. Right. And it's the same with bell peppers. If you peel the skin and scrape the seeds out, my reaction with bell peppers is much reduced, but it's not taken away. Right. Potatoes, if you peel the potato, because a lot of the chemicals, you may be allergic to solanine like I am. A lot of that's in the skin. But in eggplant, it's just, there's no way to avoid it. There's such a high concentration of solanine. And so, yeah, I always ate tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant. And one day, so I always knew I was allergic to tomatoes. I did not realize I was allergic to potatoes or bell peppers or eggplant. I thought I just didn't like bell peppers because turns out they make me vomit. But, that was just me being, whatever. But one day I was 22 or 23 and I was at a Chinese restaurant with a boyfriend, and he looks at me and goes, "You need to put your chopsticks down. I'm taking you to the emergency room." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "You're swelling up and turning purple in front of me." And then I passed out and I woke up in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's landed me in the hospital twice. Yeah. And then on the nuts and peanuts side, like walnut will kill me. Most other are in that misery, regret kind of,
gosh.
And so like one time I ordered a piece of pecan pie and my friend Brooke is like, "Aren't you deathly allergic to pecans?" I said, No, I'm deathly allergic to walnuts. I'm only mildly allergic to pecans. And she's like, "They're really closely related. Do you really want to test that?" And I'm like, "If I die eating pecan pie." Like I'm not sad about this.
Wow.
And she's like, "Why are you like this? That's not okay. We love you." And I'm like,
I like pecan pie.
I love pecan pie.
So anyway, where's my pecan pie?
Right.
Is that the dessert piece?
Yeah, I think the dessert. So there's two dessert options. There's ube ice cream, which Joe knows what ube ice cream is, right? You guys maybe
I've
know.
had ube
No, he
twice.
doesn't.
Joe,
It's
Joe!
good. It's good.
Yeah, ube is phenomenal. So for
Oh,
folks who don't know, ube is a Filipino sweet potato,
Oh,
and it's in all
but
kinds of desserts.
don't put
Carlota,
traditional sweet potato.
I'm
too
not a
close to
real
it.
Filipino, just so you know. I'm not a
You're
real
Filipino on the outside. I'm
I
Filipino
am
on the
like
inside.
total
We're
Oreo
like
cookie because I was adopted when I was 1.5. So
okay.
I am the
All right.
darkest, whitest Filipino you'll ever meet. So just so you know.
You
I
won't get the
know-
white privilege that I get, though. I'm just letting you
no.
know.
I'll
They're gonna
act like I have the
smile
white
at
privilege.
you,
but-
and they're gonna be mad that you don't speak it back to them.
I know a few bad words, and I could probably tell people to
Cool.
do certain things, but
Cool,
that's it.
cool.
Yeah. So
All right. Well,
yeah. So
if I ever make it to Lubbock, or you ever make it to Australia, I'm thinking you're gonna make it to Australia before I make it to Lubbock. To be honest, I'm just you come to Australia, I'll make you Filipino food. But I'll send you a Filipino cookbook, my friend. I'm getting rid of stuff, right? Like I'm not moving everything, but so ube anything, ube ice cream, ube, but there's also I made an apple pie with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and apparently we blew our Blue Sky / Twitter feed friends. We blew their minds. I have a friend named Ursula Vernon who's this amazing artist and author, lots of Hugo Awards, Nebula Awards, that kind of thing. And when I said that our friend Sue and I were making a bacon apple pie, she was just like, "Wait a minute, you can put bacon in apple pie?" I'm like, not only can you, you are a heathen if you do not put bacon in your apple pie.
Let me ask you real quick on that, Carlota. Have you ever put American cheese on your apple pie?
Not American. I hate American cheese, but a really good sharp cheddar on a bacon apple pie. Mwah.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Not American cheddar. I think it was cheddar. Isn't that
good
right?
Cheddar, good cheddar. Really, no, smoked cheddar, even better. And if you hand make the pastry dough for the pie for the pie pastry, right? Pie shell. Crush up some rosemary, and then you get that sweet and that savory and the. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're like a for real foodie.
I am a hardcore. Like if I'm eating,
all I hear is sugar this, sugar more, sugar that.
Yeah.
Sugar what?
Have you tried putting sugar with the bacon?
I'm on the diabetes train, baby.
I'm going.
Let me show you how much sugar you're missing out on, Joe.
Yeah. By the way, Joe, have I mentioned how much sugar you don't get to have right now? I'm just letting you know.
Thanks.
Yeah. So anyway,
awesome.
So that's that.
I don't even know what to say. It's amazing. Sometimes you haven't stopped me. It's just like, man, we are 35 minutes into the show, and we haven't even touched the reason that we brought you on. You're so amazing. You so much energy. It's awesome.
Yes, I do love all of your energy.
And you've taken over the show. We're just
we're spectators at this point.
I'll step back a moment. I'll let folks have
No, please don't.
I'm a steamroller. I will just go. Like, when I played World of Warcraft and EverQuest, like I would give people directions and I'd go the wrong way, and I'm like, "Why are you following me?" And they're like, "Because we're gonna have more fun."
She's a gamer girl too.
Wow.
So let me let everyone know real quick. I had so I have a cybersecurity web show that I do also, and I have a YouTube over there, and it's called Cyber Gangsters Cybersecurity, right? It started off as just me doing some videos while I was learning some controls or requirements for a specific methodology out there. And I was like, I'm going to use this to see how I grow and learn my requirements and stuff. And in case potential employers ever wanted to see, they would know how I master and control stuff. Then it grew to me like, hey, some people needed help. Let me make a video. I'm going to act like I don't know anything and just play the part of the ignorant, for lack of a better term. And then I was like, well, let me invite someone to help me do this. And then I invited some people. And one person who's been helping me a lot understand in my audience, she was leaving for October. And I was like, I plan on doing Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which is October. And I found Carlota because I visited a conference called Stronger 2023. And as soon as it started, I just knew, I was like, I need to have her on my YouTube. Not only is her energy and everything just at 11, but she mastered herself. She was talking about how to turn the C-suite, we call that in the corporate world, right? Like your CEOs, your CFOs, and all them others. She was talking about how to turn them from adversaries to allies. Yeah. And I feel like that was an important topic to learn in cybersecurity.
Let other people fight your battles for you whenever you can. Like, that's what allies are for, right?
I love that. And so she came on Monday and it was spectacular. I've had several people reach out to me afterwards and like, she's so great. This was an awesome show message. You know, all the information was just wonderful. So I was like, thank you. I'll make sure to let her know. But at the end, she was like, or before the show started, when I told her I had a web show called the Social Distancing Show, she was like, "You're gonna want me on there, I promise you." Okay. And I was like, "What?" Like she said it. So afterwards,
I'm on. Just sign me up. Yeah.
Afterwards, when we were done, I was like, "So what is it that you do? What's your niche or whatever?" Right? And she was like, "You remember the little toys called Polly Pocket?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes,
"If you don't remember,
I kind of have a collection of that."
Yeah.
Look at that.
And
so
still in a package.
This one is. We'll talk about packages.
Yes, hold that thought, Sandy. That's very excellent observation. So that being said, Carlota, why don't you tell us all a little bit about Polly Pocket and how in your connection with it?
Hundreds of random little dolls, right? So I've got 6 cases of loose dolls here. Most of my collection's packed up, unfortunately, because I'm moving, right? So to Australia. I don't
Is there like a lot of Polly Pockets in Australia? Is that what your motivation to move over there?
It's like, you know, well, I want to collect other things when I'm in Australia, but you know, I also collect ex-boyfriends. So
love it. Yes.
It's a whole new continent for me to conquer here.
Australia's not ready yet. When do they get a load of Carlota?
They have no idea what they're in for now. No, was I talking about the Barbie dolls and making over the Barbie dolls? And then, I'd pick up a Polly Pocket now and then because I just thought they were really well engineered, right? So if you look at this here, it started out, it was, if I recall correctly, a German designer. This is not very big, right? This is the size of an adult hand here. So this whole thing is the size of an adult hand, and it folds up into a little compact that you can slip into your pocket. So the very first prototype, I think a German engineer made for his daughter out of a makeup compact with little tiny wooden dolls. These dolls, I think this doll, if you probably can't see her too well. Let me figure out where my camera is. She's only an inch tall.
Yeah, she's itty bitty.
Right? She's itty bitty, right?
Yeah.
Now, over the years, the brand has grown. Now they're like 6-8-inch dolls. I mean, they're really tall because, little dolls like this go up little tiny noses and don't come out very well. So
surgery.
Right. So, but for the first 10 years, like so I have every Polly Pocket. But once I kind of opened up my closet and realized, holy cow, I have all these Polly Pockets. I guess I'm a Polly Pocket collector too. And then over the years, I stopped collecting Barbie dolls. Yeah. And I started collecting Polly Pockets. Now, in the Barbie world, like, it's a big deal. You don't debox the Barbies. You keep them they keep their value. Once you take them out of the box, they have no value, right?
Right.
And so I was kind of notorious for forcibly deboxing dolls against people's will. So
you were the ones that made everybody else cringe.
I made everyone cry. So literally,
oh my gosh,
I would buy entire collections and pull out the 1 or 2 Barbie dolls that I wanted, and then I'd hit a doll show and sell off the stuff I didn't want. And that's I've always been that kind of person, right? And I'd sell them for really good prices because I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it because it's fun and it's kind of an interesting challenge. So I'm at this doll show in South Carolina, really big doll show, PD doll show back in the 90s, I guess mid 90s at this, maybe 94. And my friend Brad,
doll show,
right? My friend Brad, who's a big Barbie expert, like New York Times just quoted him in some Barbie thing today. So he's Bradley Justice, really swell doll shop, amazing. Mattel had him in a few years ago to organize their Barbie archives. This guy is Barbie, right? And he tells a story of He'll start it out with, yeah, we were at the PD doll show. He's telling the doll club. And I hear this scream from the middle of the showroom floor. And I know Carlota has done something. And what had happened is I had these Barbie dolls in the original boxes. They were dolls of the world, so they're like a Spanish doll and a little traditional Spanish outfit kind of thing, Peruvian doll, whatever. And the big dealer, Kitty, whatever her name was, had them for like $200 a pop. And I had them for like 50 because I bought this huge collection for pennies on the dollar. And I just wanted to not have, I already had my Peruvian Barbie and just whatever. Anyway, this lady picks up the doll in the box and there's this barely visible crease. Like the box is fine. Okay. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's like a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
This crease, I'll give you 20 for the doll. And I was like, you're absolutely right. That crease, that doll doesn't belong in that box at all. And I took the box out of her hands and I ripped it open. And she screamed because she wanted the doll at $20 when Kitty is selling it for 200. And I'm like, bitch, I'm giving you a good deal. Take it or lose it, right? Like I am absolutes, right?
And so she lost her shit.
And she lost her shit. She stood there and cried, right? I mean, I'm like, too bad. Kitty's got one for $280, $200. Go for it. You can have the D-box doll for $20 if you want. She was pissed.
Hold on. You had this really valuable, really sought after item. And when the woman offered
for $50,
so originally $50 when Miss Popularity over there was selling it for $200.
Yeah.
This woman had the gall to ask you for $20 on it.
Yeah.
And then you
that was probably my mom. My bad, because that's what my mom does. my mom be doing that shit at flea markets. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, and at flea markets, that's fine. If I was at a flea market, that's one thing. Like Slow Day,
I'm the doll out of the box and you tore the box.
Yeah, because there was a crease.
Did you offer it to her at $20?
Yeah, it's like if you want the doll for $20, sure. But I literally just ripped the box in half.
I love that.
Oh my god!
Did you use her dress to dry her tears?
No, that would mess up the dress. Like she could dry her own tears. Sorry. I'm sorry. I have a potty mouth. I realized this weekend I was in DC last weekend.
That's why I put
one of my mentors. One of my mentors in cybersecurity used to be the CIO for the DoD, and he's an ex-Navy commander, ex-Navy commander. I swear more than a Navy commander. That's how much I swear.
Let me tell you a little side story real quick. Let me just derail this real quick. So one time we were out at a function and my district manager decides to tell my manager that I use the F word entirely too much. And he's like, you need to do something about that. Let her know that I said. So then I fired back and I said, you know what offends me is when you touch your mistress's boobs in front of me. So you either tell him or I will. Snap. And he's like, oh, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I'm like, okay, good.
Cool. That's awesome.
So I said to have a fucking nice day. And he. So anyway, no one ever said anything else to me about my cussing. Okay. Because I've been watching.
Imagine not.
I like that.
I like it. I get eyes.
Oh I have my ear to the ground and my eye on you.
Got it.
Okay. Sorry. I just that
I am still back at this causing a woman to cry, a grown woman to cry.
It's not the woman to cry. I'm more concerned about the box that was torn. That was like, oh my gosh, because I do comics, Carlota. So there was a stream last year that was on Whatnot. This is a selling app, right? It's like eBay meets what's the thing? QVC. They had a baby. This comic
a used baby.
Where his comic people they were saying every comic you buy on the show, the stream, we're gonna rip the same comic on the side. And so you'd buy a comic and they would pick it up.
Was Carlota in that? Was she?
I don't know.
I wish they had invited me. I would have been like, I would have made a big show of
you talk about having heart palpitations. I was all like, oh my God, what did you just do? Like, I don't like the comic. It's not
Jamie was
style.
The lady crying.
But I was like, oh my God, what are y'all doing? And they were just like, and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
They
Oh my
Anyway, so that's
Yeah.
my thought. I'm a
Yeah.
bystander at the show, and I see what you're doing, and I'm thinking,
Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
but part
sure
of me is
people talked
liking
about
the
that
lesson you're
crazy
giving
woman
to
who
her.
ripped open the box for years. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Wow.
love it.
That's
Good for her
awesome.
trying to
Okay.
ask you to reduce your
Hey,
process.
she's welcome to ask, but she doesn't have to
Right.
be like stupid about it. Like
And
if she
I
just
like the
been like,
lesson. I'm not gonna lie.
hey,
I
would you
liked
take
it.
40 and handed me 40? I would have taken 40, right? But it's the fact that she was like, oh, this crease makes this box not worth it. And I'm like, you're right, that box is completely trash. Let's just get rid of it.
Let's
Right?
just
Like,
take it
Are
out.
a
like
difference.
I'm gonna take whatever you give me and I'm gonna go a step further. That is who I am.
Yeah.
That is who I am. You
And now you're
cannot
gonna give me
a bar
50
like that.
For just the
Now you're
doll,
gonna
the
give me
torn
50
box.
for the doll.
Yeah, that's it.
I actually, as
Actually
much
did
as
sell
that
the doll for
stresses me
50 later.
out, I still like look up to you for it, because I'd be like, ooh, I love those sweet satisfactions where you can really stick it to someone, you know. And
Right.
so I do like that too. There's a
Right.
Reddit on that. So I gotta
Yeah,
send you some of
yeah.
those. Oh, malicious
Yeah.
compliance. That's what they
Yeah.
call it. When
Yeah.
malicious
Oh,
compliance.
that's a good point.
Mhm.
I'll have to put that up there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and well, what it I can't remember if it was before or after because it's been 30 years, right?
Uh-huh.
Brad had called me one afternoon because we were in the Barbie Club together, and he's like, "Hey, are you ready to give the Barbie Club presentation this month?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure." I had no idea what I was going to do, and mostly people usually do it's like, "Oh, here's the history of my favorite Barbie doll or whatever," and then I realized I got all these rare dolls that I've been meaning to take out of the box. We're gonna have a deboxing party, and I bring a case of like 2 dozen dolls and a bunch of knives, and people were upset with me. Some people were all in it. Like, you're gonna let me, you're really gonna let me open this. And there were other people who were begging me to let them buy the doll. Please don't make me open. I'm like, and
You
I'd
could have
sit
made
over there
so
and I'd
much
start
money that night.
Oh, I could have. I couldn't even think about it.
And
Maybe
it's
I
like,
should do a
welcome to
stream.
the stage, Carlota.
Maybe I should do
Her
a
knife.
stream with the Polly Pockets and be like, okay, who's saving this one? We're gonna open it. If I don't think you're right,
Yeah,
you
what's the opposite of ASMR?
Chaos. It's chaos.
Carlota.
That's what it
Carlota
is.
is the opposite of
There you go.
ASMR. But yeah, so here's a story on the boxed stuff. Because I was such an adamant deboxer with the Barbie dolls, when I started collecting the Polly Pockets, I was like, I want to keep them in the boxes because there's lots of little tiny pieces to get lost.
Yes.
But I don't want to keep them in the boxes because I kind of want to play with them. But I also don't want to keep, and so I ended up getting 3 of everything. There's one in the box so that I have the box, and then I have one out of the box that is for display only. And then I have one out of the box that I can actually play with and that kids can play with. So I have 3 of every Polly Pocket made between 1990 and 2000, sold in the US, I should say, sold in the US from 1990 to 2000. And then I've got a bunch, another couple dozen from Europe, from Japan, so yeah.
What are they called in Europe?
They're Polly Pockets.
Oh,
Polly
they are.
Pockets. In Japan, they were Angel Pockets. Bandai made them in Japan for a few years originally. Bandai, yeah, Bandai, yes. So, you know how it is.
Wow.
So yeah, that's. So unfortunately I can't give you a tour since everything is packed up. But
do you have your most valuable Polly
it.
Pocket available to show us, or what?
I don't think I have. Do I have anything really unusual? Here I am digging through my box.
Well, or explain what it is and why it's valuable.
I think
we had a buddy named Justice.
Yeah,
we had a buddy named Justice, and he used to collect Spawn toys.
Okay.
And I remember because they were on his wall, and I'll be like, "Hey, why do you have 3 of this one?" He's like, "No. This one has a red axe. This one has a blue axe. So this one is more valuable." I was like, okay.
Yes.
So is it similar in that fashion?
Yeah. Well, I think it is. Here's the issue. I mean, Polly Pocket's been around for 35 years now, right? I think they're doing the first Polly Pocket Con next year.
Longer than Joe's been
Yeah.
on this planet. That's crazy.
I know, right?
Joe, that's crazy, Joe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm only a few years older
Don't
than Polly
flatter him.
myself. I was like
Don't flatter
3
him.
going into the store buying those Polly Pockets. I'm just
Right.
letting you know. But, you know, yeah, I'm just going to keep telling that story to myself. I imagine, but I honestly, I don't pay any attention to the market since I'm
Okay.
not into collecting dolls anymore. So I don't really know what the prices of things are these days. I do have a couple of sets that were really hard to find, like back in the day when I was still. So I imagine the hospital with the 3 little tiny swaddled baby Polly Pockets it's probably going to be really expensive because finding that on the shelves took me a long time. Like I think I managed to finally find one in a Roses in a mountain city in North Carolina that had been like overlooked. You know, they didn't make them for very long, and then they just
Because they discovered they were
disappeared.
good nose pieces or ear pieces.
I don't know. Yeah, the really tiny little baby ones, like they yanked those off the shelves immediately. And then there is a variation, right? There's a little Polly Pocket zoo that in the US comes with a Polly Pocket and a little polar bear. And in England, it came with a Polly Pocket, a polar bear, and a little tiny penguin. And that penguin is unobtainium. I do have one of the penguins because he's stupidly. I can probably sell the penguin for $100 by himself. I mean,
wow,
he's crazy rare.
So I get what you're saying, Carlota. So
yeah,
Justice.
Yeah, well,
Joe,
all the
I used
little
to collect
animals.
Spawn too.
Yeah,
and we used to have it all there. So, and there's these weird rules that the distributors have, right? So it's not that it was. It probably wasn't that it was just rare where they didn't release it. They probably only made, like, for example, 5,000 of them, and they had a very specific rule that said we'll only release them within certain geographical areas where there's sales above or below X amount. So there's literally this thing, because my mom would go to KB, Toys R Us, and she would figure out the days they'd go there, and she would open up the brand new boxes and go looking for all of them.
Oh,
there's the polar bear. Then there's the tiny little penguin, which is a giant penguin compared to the polar bear. Like that's a king emperor penguin right there.
Yeah.
Are there any longhorns in your collection? Just curious. Asking
longhorns,
for a friend.
Like cattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cow one. Hang on, let me find him. Oh, hang on. Before I do that, there's a tiny. I gotta find my damn camera. There's a tiny little panda. He's even fuzzy. He's flocked. He's really cute. I tried to see the pandas when I was in DC.
You got them all in their little. What do you call those things? Yeah,
the little baggies. Yeah. That's a little bull with horns.
Whoa,
long horns. Yeah,
that is so cute.
Yeah,
I just did a little quick Google search just like to see what Polly Pockets are going for these days.
Yeah,
$26.97. It's a.
Do they still sell them?
2-in-1, a unicorn.
Oh.
So those are the new ones, and you'll see. So here's the I don't have any of the new ones, but the old ones were super simple. They were like they were almost like peg dolls, really. Here we go.
Oh, okay. That's what's on the bottom of the animals you were showing just now.
Yeah. So here we go. Hang on. I'm gonna pull a little tiny Polly Pocket out here. They were, the original Pollys were just stupidly simple. See, her little hands stick out.
Oh my goodness alive!
So Polly Pocket was an engineered choking toy.
Yes, she was engineered to kill children.
Right? Oh my God!
Yeah, that was the reason that they came up with the choking hazards.
She was engineered to kill not very bright children who were
natural selection.
The smart ones. We did not. I played with really small things when I was a little child, and I did not eat them or shove them up my nose, and I did just fine. But apparently that is not normal. But yeah, that's why they got bigger and bigger, and then the new ones. If you look at the pictures of them. They're much more defined. They are a bit bigger than these. The play sets are bigger. They're less intricately detailed. They're just simpler, and so they're just not as appealing to me.
Makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
Yeah.
So we
Is
saw that there
Yeah.
was a time
So
when they
the
weren't
dolls are
selling.
bigger and less interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We saw that there was a time when they weren't selling. I thought that I heard in the there's a video that Carlota sent me about her collection, and they said
Oh
in
yeah,
there,
we should drop that in the. We should
I
drop
will
that
make
in
sure
the.
to put in the links, but they
Yeah.
said that the last time they were being sold was 2015, but Sandy just saw some just now.
They're at
Yeah, they
Guadalajara.
brought them back. They brought because think about it, all of the people who played with the Polly Pockets in the early 90s
They're
are now
adults.
parents. They're
Mhm.
now parents and they want to buy
And
those
they
for
want
their
their kids to choke on it.
That's it.
Shove them up their nose.
Your
Everything
job as a
goes up
parent
his
is to keep
nose.
them alive until 18, right? That's your job. It's your only job. They don't have to be
Unless you wanna
sane,
go to
functioning
ER.
people. You just have to not let them kill themselves before they're 18. That is your sole purpose, right? So yeah.
I'm
But no,
wondering.
and apparently some
Um,
folks are YOLO. I got to give my kids Polly Pockets because I had Polly Pockets. But yeah, if you look in the new ones, they are a little bit bigger. They're maybe an inch and a half tall. This is, these dolls were very they're very childlike. They're almost like the
Like-
Fisher Price Little People, but
yes.
in miniature form, right?
Mhm.
And the bigger dolls look more they're posed, they have little legs, their little legs aren't strapped together like Polly's little legs are, right? Yeah. They're very different doll.
Was there at one point a Polly Pocket that actually had like the Barbie style hair?
Yeah, they had a lot. I'm wondering, did I pack up?
There's a Polly Pocket Barbie.
Yes, there is. There are Funko Polly Pockets that are awesome.
What?
Yeah,
No.
there's a Funko Polly and a Funko Polly Pocket Compact holding a little tiny Polly Pocket doll. I mean, we're gonna have to Google this stuff because I don't have any of it open. I don't have any
Do
of it.
you have
I
them
didn't
though?
prep.
Did you get the
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
like you would have
totally
gotten the Funko ones at least.
I got 2 each of the Funko ones because I'm gonna keep one in the box and take one out, right? Like that's who I am.
I feel like
That's
you
who I am.
purposely take it out of the box though for dramatic effect.
Oh yeah, I have to make it.
You have to
That's a
find
good point. I'm gonna do a deboxing Polly Pocket stream now. I mean, I think you've sold me on this whole streaming.
Oh
I
my
think so.
gosh.
Yeah, I think that. Or at least
Watch me debox my valuable
pick- the
collection. that
fanboys
you
are
can't
gonna
put
come
out
out.
me.
It's an OnlyFans deboxing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
People would
Watch
pay
me
for it and
undress
then they'd
my
be upset
dolls.
about
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah, I love it. I
Oh
have
my
to do this
gosh.
now. I'm gonna have to check with my future
I'm-
employer. Is it okay if
You
I have an
definitely-
OnlyFans
you
site as long as
definitely
I'm not
need to
showing any
do
body?
a TikTok. I think you
Yes.
definitely need to do a TikTok
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I just want to see how many people you upset.
I want to see the
People are
Karens
gonna be
come out.
furious with me. I piss people off
people are
all
going to
the
go to the
time.
hospital watching you do that. And then they're going to be
Hyperventilating.
like, they're going to be upset with you because they're like, they're going to have heart palpitations too.
Yeah, you can
Mhm.
you can name your channel "I Open Rare Toys" to piss you off.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's a good point. That is a really good point. I'm looking at these things and I'm like, I got to go. So here's one of the Polly Pockets that has like little hair. Here she is.
On the
Yeah,
pocket.
if you-
Okay.
The pocket, they put little hair on her.
Oh,
You
like
see her
okay, yeah.
ponytail?
Oh,
You
Yeah,
see
yeah.
her ponytail?
It's up.
That
like
hand's
so,
pointing at
Yeah.
it.
So they did little. So at one point, I'll see if I can find the picture and share
That's
it.
to help it get when it gets stuck here in the throat. You grab the hair.
It
and
gives
grab
you
it
a
out.
pull it
tickle.
out.
Yeah, something the
Yeah.
tweezers to grab.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
That's
you
why.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. I like this. At one point, I had a display case. I took every single loose doll that I had, and I arranged it. This is a testament to OCD. I arranged it by Polly Pocket hairstyle, and then outfit that she's wearing, and then the front.
You
There
can
were
organize
6.
my closet.
Oh, I am so OCD. I will absolutely organize your closet. You will love it, and then you will also hate me because it will never be as perfect again.
Probably right.
I
Right?
could use some help cataloging my comics too. So you might have to come over
Yeah.
here after that.
Here we
Yeah.
go. I think I'm gonna have a really good retirement.
I'm just gonna
organizing
point this
people's
out.
collections.
Somebody sounds a little psycho. I'm just gonna point that out.
Jamie,
There's
we
a
knew
reason.
it.
There's a reason that I'm single. No, I'm just-
There's a reason
there's
she
a reason I
collects
collect
exes.
ex-boyfriends. No. Yeah, actually, I have a great story about an ex-boyfriend, but
I bet you unboxed something and it just drove him to the edge.
Or she had too many and he couldn't handle it.
Or she's like, I can't go on a
it-
date tonight because I need to go buy some more Polly
It's
Pockets.
you or Polly.
No,
It's me or
no.
Polly.
Oh,
she was
I did
like-
have a boyfriend once ask me if I used to have a cat that I loved, Pooh Kitty. And he's like, if Pooh Kitty and I were drowning, who would you save? And I'm like, that's a stupid question. I'll come back and check on you when I know she's safe. Like, you can swim, fat boy. You got some
He set
buoyancy.
himself up for failure.
Why would you ask me that?
That was
This
a
cat is my
dumb
life.
question.
Right? Like, who
Did he get
would
mad about
ask-
it afterwards?
Oh, he was upset. Like, he didn't
What? What a
think-
loser.
like I broke up with a guy. Like I love cars. I'm a Mazda girl, but I've got
Oh,
two
you like the rotary
Miatas,
engines.
Oh yeah. I took apart a 91 RX-7 so I could pull the engine and transmission to put it into a 90 Miata. Like that.
Oh,
I
wow.
love making. I love that stuff. But I broke up with the guy once because it's like, you're a Chevy, El Camino kind of guy, or yeah, and I'm a Ford Ranchero kind of gal. And he's like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I'm like, yeah, it's not. So sometimes I'm gentle about it, but I had this one boyfriend
Sometimes
that
I'm gentle.
It's me, not
Did she
you.
just say
Yeah.
totally you.
The issue is you, not me.
No, the issue is that we're just not compatible. But I had this one guy that we were out to dinner and we'd stayed friends, right? And for whatever reason, and this like we had broken up like a year before, and for whatever reason, he did quite a nice Italian restaurant. He decides to bring up that he dumped me. And I was like, you didn't dump me. We broke up. It was a mutual decision. He goes, no, I dumped you. And it became really important to him that he had dumped me. And I was like, okay, let's review this evening. We'd gone to Dave's
Review
party.
tape.
Right. You were being a little bit weird. That's cool. I got into the hot tub with the girls. Our friend Rob decided there are 5 beautiful women in the hot tub and no beautiful men. So he chased this guy Sergio around the backyard, tackled him, stripped him down, and put him in the hot tub with us, which I was not sad about. And when I got out of the hot tub to go take a shower, Sergio offered to wash my hair and kissed me very kindly. At which point I said, hold on a second, I have to go break up with someone. And I found you in the kitchen and I said, hey, we're better off as friends, right? And you said, right. And that just seems like a really mutual breakup to me. And that was not what he wanted to hear.
He just remembered that totally different. And he told all of his friends totally
That
different.
yeah.
He rewrote
Yeah.
the narrative on that in his
He
brain
totally
so he
rewrote
could
the
sleep
narrative.
at night.
And I'm
he
like,
was using AI in his head to
literally, he had a Chat GPT implant way before Chat GPT was a thing.
totally
Like, that just seems like a mutual breakup. Like, hey,
So
we're better
I
off as friends.
too
You agreed.
would also
Right.
take you to an expensive restaurant to change up the story.
So such a strange. It was just weird. It's like, what the hell, dude?
Is he
Like,
trying to
you
buy
were definitely
the story?
paying for dinner tonight. It was weird. I don't know. I didn't see him much of
I've
it.
never heard anything like that before in my life.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
That's
ego
some-
thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, the number of exes that are like, you don't need me enough. I'm like, I don't need you at all, sweetheart, but I like having you around. Like, that is not enough for a lot of guys. They have to be needed. And it's like, so you want me to feel trapped to be in a relationship with you? That's really kind of fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
Well, so wait a minute. Who's the common denominator in all these breakups though?
Oh, yeah, because I have really fucking high standards. I'm not gonna be trapped. Yeah, I don't need you. I want to be with you, and then I will be with you. But you have to make me want to stay. Like, if you are
that's
not
true.
good enough for that, then I've got Polly Pockets and I've got cars.
We need
Like,
to
and it's yeah, I'm better at building cars than guys. I was for a long time. I did martial arts. I do video games. I can kick their butts. I mean,
You are totally the Asian stereotype. Okay, so let's.
I'm the
Do you
dragon
math?
lady. I'm
Do
the
you
dragon.
math, bro?
Do I do math well?
Yeah.
do you math well?
I do. So here's interesting. I actually have a math learning disability, but it's kind of
That's what
interesting.
I think we all have that, right?
Well, it's interesting. I did this test because my brother's dyslexic, and I thought I clearly have a learning disability, but it's not dyslexia. I should go figure out what it is. Now, of course, I don't remember what it was. I got grant money for it in college, but basically they give you this test, and there's a verbal test, and there's a logic test, and a math test, and they're really clear with either like it's on a scale of 1 to 100. We expect people to be in the 45 to 55 range. That is average. That is not failing. You should be in the 45 to 55 range. And then for the verbal test, I was a 97, and for the logic test, I was a 96. And then for the math test, I was a 67. So I'm still well above average. But because there's a 30-point gap, it's considered a learning disability. And I was like, oh, okay. I feel like I'm cheating by taking this grant money, but I'm totally taking this grant money because I'm poor, right? I put myself through college. I paid for all of it. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on
Yeah.
you. Well, I mean,
so I have a math disability as well.
Okay.
What is it, Sandy?
I'm just slow when it comes to math. Not really a diagnosis there.
You know, I like the problems where they ask it and then I can be like, let me calculate real quick. And then they answer. I'm like, I was just waiting for you to get there.
Have you seen the parents that are like, there's 2 apples. Johnny's friend gives him 3 more. How many does he have in total? And I say purple. How I am. I can't help it.
It's okay. I've been there when Sandy goes, when you go like that, and it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you.
I don't have a math issue. I have a finance and economics issue. It's like, I make all this money and I'm going to spend it on random crap. You know?
That's where I want to be. I want to be at the point where I'm making too much money that I can spend it on crap.
No, it's 2%, not 0%.
Yeah.
2%.
2%. Joe is
I'm the 2% guy. So Carlota, I actually play volleyball.
Okay.
And I let my team know that I am the 2% guy.
Okay.
So I only have a certain number of jumps per game.
Okay.
I will not. There's no diving. I'm not going to dive. And my range is. You would think it would just be my arm length. No, it's like
too
to
long.
The elbow. So I tell them, it's like, if you're gonna cut me off, please feel free to. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I go free agent next year. I don't need to be injuring myself. So it's important for people to know that
I think that's legit.
The 2% is there to protect me, and you guys just have fun around me while I'm giving my 2%. So
it insulates them from true expectation out of Joe.
Right, exactly.
So they don't get disappointed when he's not doing what they think he should be doing because he's told them how low that bar is. So they're
right.
Like,
yeah, there's
you can trip over the bar. It's that low.
Hang on. Polly Crockett has some really good exercise equipment here. Let me find it.
Right. Exactly.
Clearly, exactly Joe needs to be training. Yeah. Somewhere in here.
Just like,
so earlier, Carlota, you told me there was a story about how there was an international incident involving you and a
international
Barbie doll.
incident.
Leave it to me to.
That's all. That's all we could do. I didn't want to hear any more, and I was like, "Leave it, save it for the show."
Fair.
So let's unpack that packaging. Let's unpackage that.
Yeah. All right.
And reveal. Tell me the rest of it.
So back in the 90s, and you saw this. If you saw the Barbie movie, you saw in Weird Barbie's house a Ken in a purple fishnet t-shirt with a purple pleather vest, and you may not have known the story behind Earring Magic Ken. So in the, I'd say 93, 94, the Earring Magic Barbie and Ken came out. And earring, like an earring that you wear in your ear. Oh. And the concept was, Barbie had a little necklace, and you could put the little pendant on Barbie's necklace, or you could put it on a little pair of clip-ons for the kid. Right, so the kid could wear the Barbie earrings, or Barbie could wear it as a pendant. Okay, that's fine. Barbie looked good. Ken is wearing this purple fishnet t-shirt and purple pleather vest, and has a big ring right here that is clearly a cock ring, if you know anything about gay culture in the early to mid 90s. And so the gay guys called him Cock Ring Magic Ken. And this doll flew like it's the only time Ken's ever outsold Barbie, right?
What?
Flew off the shelves, and and then it goes mainstream. The media gets a hold of the gay guys are buying the cock ring, the earring Magic Ken, the cock ring Magic Ken in droves. Mattel pulls them off the shelves in a panic. And they immediately, and these are early days. This is the early days of eBay, right? This is early to mid 90s, early days of eBay. This doll, which is like a $10, $12, $15 doll, is going on eBay for $150, $180, right? And so I'm out in Seattle with my boyfriend of the day. With my boyfriend du jour.
I just looked it up.
With my boyfriend at the time. Yes, you did. You just Googled it, didn't you?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Google this. Google this. Earring Magic Ken. Here, I'm going to. Anyway, so there he is. There he is. So you see him in the Barbie movie. He is in Weird Barbie's house. So I am in Seattle with my boyfriend. We rent a car. We decide we're going to do a long weekend in Canada. And we drive up to Vancouver Island and we kind of tour around there. And then we go over to Vancouver. And for whatever reason, when we're in Vancouver, it's like national 20% off day. Everything is super, super discounted. And every toy store, the first toy store I go into I'm like, hey, let's check out what Barbie and Kens are available. And the first toy store I go into has like a half a dozen of these cock ring Magic Kens for $4 Canadian, which at the time was like $2 American. So I bought them all, right? I'm like, oh, I have friends who want this doll. I've got Christmas covered here. And then we just kind of made a habit of ducking into toy stores as we kind of toured around Vancouver and kind of tootled around Canada. And at the end of this trip, I've got like 24 dolls, half of which at least, maybe 15 of them are the cock ring Magic Kens. And so when we left Seattle and drove north, we went through the major Canadian border crossing. Mm-hmm. Well, we had toured around. We're coming back into the US through a podunk little, tiny little crossing. And apparently we were sus as hell because we roll up. The guy pops open the trunk, please open your trunk. And he looks in the trunk and I see him start pulling bags out and looking just bewildered. And he comes around to the car and he goes, who are all these dolls for? And I was like, me, I'm a big doll collector. And you have to understand that the boy doll has been pulled off the shelves in the US. I have a lot of friends who want him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, please step inside. And I proceed to grilled. My boyfriend at the time. Okay, to be fair, I'm going to give a little perspective here. I don't think it was just the dolls because I, being Asian, we have that Asian blessing / curse. You look 14 until you're 40, you look 40 until you're 80, and then one day you wake up and you look 100. Right. There is no in between. So at 24, I looked like I was 12 or 14. And I was dating someone who was a bit older than me, and he did not look 24 and he did not look 12, right? So he probably looked like a pedo trying to bring this
pedo and with all her dolls,
with all of his Barbie dolls. So I don't think about this because I know I'm not 12, right? And he knows I'm not 12.
He's like, you all right, sweetheart?
Right. So we're sitting there. They bring us both in and they're grilling us. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? What do you do for work? Where do you live? And it's the same questions over and over.
What elementary do you go to?
Right. What school do you go to? Exactly. I'm like,
how much lunch money do you usually get?
I'm like, yeah. They were really oddly, and it didn't occur to me until years later why they were so oddly specific and they kept asking the same questions over and over. And eventually, like after 45 minutes, an hour of this, I look at the guy and I'm like, sir, I am not questioning your authority in any way here, but clearly there's something you're looking for and you keep asking us the same questions over and over again and we keep giving you the same answers, and I can't help but feel like if I knew what the problem was, I could solve it. And the guy looks at me and he has no reason to hold us, and he finally says, well, you're telling me you're from North Carolina, but you're in Seattle, but your plates are Nevada. And I was like, oh, check the glove box. There's a rental agreement in there. and they go out and they look at that, and they literally just have no reason to hold us at that point. I'm sure they are convinced I am a trafficked child.
Well, bless them for being vigilant and diligent.
Yes.
I just realized that I should have looked this up on an incognito tab because
I did that. I did that just to make sure. I was like, I don't want.
Like, some things are going to start popping up.
She put earring magic Ken, and what did we type in?
Cock ring magic.
Oh my gosh,
that's our problem.
That's definitely our problem because
Hi, Jams.
What up, Jams?
Who?
Yeah. I just realized that I should not have.
So it's bad enough I've been getting some weird Facebook advertisement. This is really going to be.
This is going to ramp it up to 1,000.
That is an amazing story.
Your wife is going
to like how it all kind of tied together, and then it ended up. You just need to check the rental agreement.
You just gotta. You gotta.
The obvious at first, right? Like the most obvious.
Right. And what I love is that they're letting us go, and they're like, "Oh, here's a tax form, so you can get your taxes that you paid on all those dolls back." And I'm like, Canada's good. Canada can keep the tax money, because I turned around, I gave away as many of the Ken dolls as I could, and I sold the rest on eBay for. I brought the price on eBay down because I sold so many, $150 to $125. Right. So,
oh wow, that's amazing. So did you keep one for yourself?
Of course.
Okay. Did you keep 3 for yourself?
Kept 3 for herself.
1 to play with.
I did not keep 3 for myself, but I did keep 1 or 2 for an extra 5 or 10 years, so I'd have something to trade for something.
You did it again, Joe, didn't you?
No, I just
3 years ago, right?
I did an eBay search for earring magic.
Oh dear.
$300.
Oh.
Whoa.
Sweet. Okay.
So basically, your trip to Australia has been funded
by Barbie,
right?
And Polly Pocket.
Yeah.
1992.
So
you can buy it now. This one's buy it now for
$252.
That is crazy. That's just crazy.
That's funny.
That is an awesome story.
Yes.
Well, Carlota,
yes.
I think that was epic, and I think there's probably a ton more stories that exists, and there's not enough time in the world for us to go through all of them. But let me say, I have been thoroughly enjoying every bit of this, because you never know what people have, what their stories are, or anything else.
Okay.
And
I've never met a Polly Pocket collector.
I've been looking to meet a Polly person, but not a Polly Pocket person. That's a different story for a different
Polly Pocket, not Polly.
That's a cybersecurity expert.
It's because I have to secure my dolls, man.
Gotta secure them. So, look, what we like to do whenever we part with our guests is we like to give them an opportunity to kind of share whatever message they want to share. So I'm going to give you the screen so that you can kind of share whatever you want to tell everyone. This is your time, and only you get to say everything you want to hear. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you only have this one life, right? And I had a friend when I was in my early 20s, an internet friend that I never got to meet in person because sadly he died of leukemia. But I would call him every week when we were, when he was on the decline, at least every week, often more than that. And I just remember one time he said to me, I wish he was doing a PhD program, and he had said to me, I wish I'd studied a little bit less and hung out with people a little bit more. And so I want you to keep that in perspective. That has driven a lot, that shaped a lot of my life, is that as we go through, work a little bit less, study a little bit less, and hang out with the people you care about a little bit more. And I'm so privileged to have gotten to hang out with you guys today. Thank you so much.
I forgot how to make it undo.
I love that.
There we go.
That is a beautiful message. I love that.
Yeah,
his name was Grover. He was a really great human, and I try to honor him as much as I can.
Bless him.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. I love that.
That's very
cool. Carlota, we are going to let you go, and then we're going to start wrapping up the show here. And
thank you so much. We love you and your energy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you for letting me join you. Thank you.
I hope you show this to your friends and family so they can see how awesome you are. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm not a shy person. They're going to get the link.
I wouldn't have guessed. I would not have
Right.
guessed.
Here I was
Yeah.
thinking you were just really shy.
Yeah, I thought we got to pull information out of her.
I know.
Right?
We're like, let's just step out of the way and let it
those
talk
cybersecurity
unfold.
experts like to lock everything down, so they must be the same type of personality.
Well, when you get a cybersecurity expert who loves something more than cybersecurity, it's going to be hard to lock that down.
It's true.
I don't know if you'll love cybersecurity.
I love telling people they're doing it wrong.
That's true. Yeah.
I was being
That
right.
was cute,
And
but
I
let's do it
love-
the right way, okay?
And I love showing them how to do it the right way. I love being
Yes.
right. So, you know.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, Carlota.
Awesome.
Well, we
Good
appreciate
night,
you.
everyone.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you
okay?
so much.
Thank
Mwah.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck with your move.
All right,
Oh
Wow.
my gosh, I loved her. She was so awesome.
Man, my mouth is hurting from
My
my
mouth-
laugh.
I don't think
cheeks
I've
are
stopped
hurting too.
smiling.
Smiling all the time.
Except when I was like, oh my gosh, I just Googled cock ring.
Oh, God. I can't believe you did
I
that.
did too. I was
I
like,
can't believe y'all did that. The first thing I did was open up the secret, or not secret, whatever the thing is,
Well,
incognito.
here's the deal. I don't have to hide anything. That's why I don't think of no incognito.
Well, it's not
mode.
about hiding.
No, it wasn't
What
about
shows up
hiding.
in the ad.
I'm kidding.
It's
I'm
like,
kidding.
oh.
man,
And
I
I'm
was like,
saying
I
that
can
to the
see that
girls.
popping up on our Amazon, because we have the Amazon with
Yes.
the display on it. I can see it popping up with the cock rings available. I was like,
Oh,
The producer's
gosh.
gonna be
oh
like,
my gosh, it's-
Joe?
man.
She's like,
Yeah.
no, sir.
Yeah.
Not today.
She's like, for Christmas, what size do I get you? Oh
my
gosh.
goodness.
Look,
Shut
if
the front door.
y'all are just showing up now because I saw Gems in there, Gems, you got to go back and watch this, okay?
Jams and
This Gems
Jenny.
is probably watching actually. So his
Yeah,
wife
you done messed
and-
up. You
Yeah,
done messed up.
there
A-Rod.
is some. Oh, the stories were amazing, but there's this piece tonight that was I won't say my favorite, but is going to be with me for a long time, and it's the whole ripping up the box.
Oh yeah, the box.
You
the
got to
Barbie
go
box.
listen to that part.
Epic. That's an epic
It really is.
story.
That's an
Like-
epic response to a Karen.
It is. Yeah, I agree with it.
Bitch,
it's
I will
so
bust
hard
open this
to-
box.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
to-
we
to
should start saying that.
grasp it.
Jamie, don't make me open this box.
Bitch,
I will open this box.
right here.
Shut up. Oh, yeah, I gotta make you struggle.
That's what
That
we're gonna
was
tell
hard.
Jamie. I will rip this comic right here.
What the?
No.
Look, I'm opening it right now. I'm dropping
So
it.
so like Jams, he'll be on his stream and he'll be like, people will ask him a question and he'll like, let me open it up and check, and I'm like, stop! Why are you opening it? It's in this beautiful plastic bag. Don't get your grubby fingers on it. Stop what you're doing. And then you hear the noise of the tape disconnecting with the plastic, and then you hear the slide of the comic, and then he goes right there in front of the screen and he'll start flipping the page open and something. And I'm all like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh my God. And it's not just him, but it's everyone. Anyone who touches comics, I get like that with them all. I'm like, I'll bid on it, and then they'll touch it. I'll be like, can I
James, you need
cancel
to do
my
a TikTok. Do a
Can I
TikTok
cancel
with
my-
you.
Can
Yeah.
you
Everyone.
retract your bid?
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel my bid. Or if you'll give me one in a plastic where you didn't, and that'll be it. Sometimes there'll be a second comic they'll bring out, and they'll take that one out too.
I do it because I know it's annoying to you. See, that's why you should not tell anybody your
Yeah, you
fears
should-
or
you
what
shouldn't.
annoys
I
you,
know.
because
I
they're going
know.
to use it against you in
I
a court
know,
of law.
You're right.
In the
He's the
court
worst.
of
Let me tell you,
law.
he's the worst.
He's the
He will
worst.
he'll be like, I just finished eating these really greasy tacos and yada yada yada. And he goes, and then I went and packed your comics. And I'm like, what?
And I licked my fingers clean before I put them all in there. I want to make sure that I took special care of your comics just for you.
Yes, yours has a special seasoning on it. Okay,
Oh my God.
so I have a ton of notes. So I want to read some before we're done. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So in my No Mamas news for today, this lady or this fan tried to bring their emotional support alligator into a Phillies game. An emotional support alligator. Do you think that the alligator had a muzzle on?
No.
Mm.
No.
Why would he?
So I'm not
Someone-
mad at that person. I'm mad at the person that approved for that animal to be an emotional support.
Look at them with their little pink cheeks
that's not a
and
little.
everything.
That's not a little alligator either.
No,
He's going to take a foot or a calf.
Yeah.
He's going to take a calf.
Anyway.
This is good. This is toe licking good. You get it? Because he's a alligator. He doesn't have fingers.
And in a nod to my cybersecurity folks over here, when you see a post in broken English that says all single men and women post a pic, you're going to get fucking catfished. No mames. It's a thirst trap. It's a catfish.
It's not a good thirst trap, though.
Don't be doing that shit. Okay. So my other no mames. Am I cutting out?
No.
You're a little delayed every now and then.
I'm
you're
delayed.
Good.
I feel like I'm delayed too.
So this girl gets on one of these mom groups that I love to read the drama. And she said, should I start dating during my divorce? Because my soon-to-be ex has started dating and he's already removed his ring. So one of the comments in there said, why don't you date yourself and, spend some time with yourself, go wine and dine, get a manicure and pedicure.
Uh-huh.
And you know what she says?
What?
She said, there's children involved and I don't have time for that. But B, you have time to be looking for men? Anyway, no mames.
No mames. Déjame.
And then my final one. This lady says, I'm a picky eater. Think children's menu. Is it feasible for me to go to any place in Europe to eat?
Huh?
Is it feasible?
What in the world?
I guess she just wants to get chicken nuggets everywhere she goes.
Are these posts in just like Facebook and stuff like that? People are actually
these are Facebook
real.
Posts.
They're real. You know what I mean? Like they're real. People really want feedback on these questions.
Yes, this is in a mom group, and all these questions have to be approved.
Approved. Oh my God. Someone was like, yes, let this question pass the gates.
Yes.
They're probably like, this is a good one. We're gonna let this one go. I want to beat that admin. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and see what people say.
Yeah, I'd be like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like, did you really think this was a legit question that people want to ask and answered? Yeah. No, exactly, John. No. John needs to teach those admins what to allow and not to allow.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay. And then I have one more. So this person, this anonymous member posted, how do you explain to coworkers that you have a sensory thing about people eating near them, especially suckers and other hard candy? Every single day, my coworker does this, and it genuinely makes me climb walls.
Now that I can not relate, I can get that. That makes sense to me.
Okay, it does make sense. I get it. Like, it makes sense. But why should your personal issue have anything to do with me? You need to fix yourself or work on yourself. Instead of bugging me not to be eating my sucker.
But let me just say, there's this level of disruption in an office that just needs to be like, come on now. Come on.
No, it is not a level
Your
of
smacking is annoying the heck out of me.
No, it's not even smacking. She quietly sucking, but it bothers you. It don't bother me. It don't bother anybody else. She didn't indicate that.
I get that, but I don't know. There's something like when people talk and their mouth is full. Like that makes me. That's so. I feel it's in the same vein as that.
It's a you issue. It's a you.
I mean, no, I don't think that's 100%. I'll grant it is a me issue, Sandy, but there is a community issue here. If I make a fart sound, that's nothing on you. Leave me alone. That's not your business.
Wait, what?
If I fart in the office, that's leave me alone. It's your.
I'm gonna go post in my mom group. This guy farted. What do I say to him? How do I get him fired?
I'm just saying, it's in the same vein as that.
Oh, it's way down the vein though. It's like way
but
down
it's
the
still
vein.
there. Come on, if you have to
You're
go in the
reaching.
office, Joe, you can't really talk about this because you only go up for lunchtime and then not. Okay, but those of us who spend 8 hours in the office, and the person next to us is smacking that thing.
Jamie used to have a guy that whenever he would take his shoes off at the office, and his feet stunk bad. Remember that guy?
That's an office thing. That's an office issue. I mean, like totally, like that's a problem.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But if he's just quietly eating his sucker, and you don't like it,
I don't see the difference, whether it's a sound, a smell, or an image, especially your face. Like if I don't want to see your face every day, right? Oh, I don't know, Sandy. I hear what you're saying. I really do, but I'm like,
no, you don't.
If you're making those smacking noises or something, I guess I need to know how loud or whatever. If it's just a regular.
No, the thing about it is that she says, whatchamacallit, she has a sensory thing. It's her problem.
Yeah. Yeah, if she doesn't like the sensor, if it's a sensory thing, that she needs to like let somebody know so she can be put in an isolation box or something.
Yeah, like
you need to take that.
I think she's trying to give herself some space on there for her problem, but I think it's one of those where this guy has just the same thing.
Thank you, Joanne.
Every day.
No, Jamie, farts and stinky feet are different than eating a candy.
No. The issue isn't eating a candy. The issue is the smacking or extra noise that's produced from eating the candy. I can put a sucker in my mouth and it stays in there. I'm not over licking it. So everyone, yeah. Yes, Joe, exactly. I'm not doing that. It's
that was
there.
Kind of bad. I probably shouldn't have done that.
I'll clip that out later for the reels for shorts. Okay.
Edit
for the best of the season.
Not edit to highlight it, Joe.
Oh, wait, no.
I'm like, what's that sound again, Joe?
That's
See,
not
I'll clip this with your all that nasty stuff you just did.
With all the macaroni noises.
We gotta go. Let's go. Wrap this up.
All right, everyone. So remember, come hang out with us next week and check this out. I know that I've talked a little bit about the cybersecurity YouTube I'm doing, but over on my LinkedIn and my YouTube, I'm going to be providing more content this month because it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So this is my cybersecurity awareness tip to you guys to give y'all is I'm going to be talking about it a lot of bit more on my cybersecurity channel, a little bit over here just because I can, and I want you guys to be safe. And so I've got a lot of topics I'm going to be talking about, but I am working I'm working on getting someone on the show from a company called Bark. Okay. I love Bark. I know this is going to sound like the paid promotion and everything, and I'm fine with that. But look, if you are a parent and you have a child of honestly any age, they're living at home, Bark has been cool. I can check my kids' text messages, and I have no problem.
Would this be good for somebody that has a serial cheating husband?
Probably. It could actually.
Well, the reason I ask is because that was a question in one of the moms groups. So apparently her husband is a serial cheater. So she wanted an app to where she could see the messages for him. And it was a red flag for me, but
if you gotta ask that though, I feel like you don't need the proof. It's already there.
The proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the ask. So, but Bark, I'm going to post a link. I'm going to post a link up to my account. I'll get a kickback. You'll get a kickback, whatever. But the thing is my kids, I can check their text messages out.
Good question,
still going on circles. I can check, and it labels their text, guys. So, for example, if it'll tell me these are depression type text, or these are medically concerning, or this is sexually alarming. It goes through a whole bunch of stuff so that I can read those, and it even puts severe, right? So like when I open it, I always click on severe first so I can see any text messages that are like, hey, you need to get on this like quick. And a lot of times it's helpful. But if you have kids or you have kids who have kids, like I said, I'm gonna post up the link to Bark in the YouTube, in the Facebook, everywhere. I highly recommend, if not this app, something. And there's free apps. Apple and Google or Android both have a free app. They're great, but when you pay for those extra things, it's worth the extra. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay. Anyway, I'll post the links up. Thank you, everyone. Joe, Sandy, any last minute real quick?
Good night, everybody.
While I find the exit.
On the SAQs, just answer yes to everything, even if it's not true.
There we go.
What is that?
That's a cybersecurity joke. You got it.
Oh, I'm like,
do not do that. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Just
good night, everybody.
Oh, we're back. Hey, we're back. Yeah. Remember, answer yes on your SAQ.
Oh, here we go. Don't do that.
It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know?